Iran fired close to 200 missiles at Israel on the 1st of October, and ever since then, Israel has been preparing to give a befitting reply to Iran. But a few days ago, Israel's plan of attack got leaked to Iran. Mind you, these were highly classified US intelligence documents marked as top secret, and they just got leaked, and US claims it has no idea how. Now, what features prominently in these leaked documents is the mention of two air-launched ballistic missiles. These systems, Golden Horizon and ROX systems, which Israel would use as per these leaked documents. Both are long-range missile systems, reportedly chosen due to their capability to target Iran without flying over other countries. Now, if the leaked documents are to be believed, this is what Israel was planning to do, and this is how they were planning to attack Iran in retaliation of what happened on the 1st of October. Now, coming to the big point, how could a top-secret US document get leaked at such a crucial time? Were the documents leaked deliberately to thwart another war front from opening up, which can potentially devastate the entire West Asian region, as we're just days away from US elections? To discuss this further, with me on Game Plan, I'm being joined by Dr. Avner Goen, Professor of Non-Proliferation and Terrorism Studies, Middlesbrough Institute. Dr. Goen, always a pleasure speaking with you. Thank you so much for joining me. What led to the leaks, Dr. Goen?
Well, obviously, somebody was trying to undermine Israeli-American relations and trust and confidence. Possibly somebody was trying to undermine those preparations. Mm-hmm. And you know, it's difficult to say more than that, because obviously we do not know the identity of the person who did that and what was the exact motivation for that. So it's only we're speculating.
Dr. Goen, is there reason to believe, or is there any credibility to this notion at this point that US perhaps did it on purpose to stall the war from sparking until the elections got over, with not even 2 weeks away from them now?
I don't think so. Mm-hmm. I don't think that it would change much of the resolve of Benjamin Netanyahu. If anything, it would enhance his desire to do so. It's quite well assumed, well known that Benjamin Netanyahu put his gamble on the elections of Donald Trump. Mm-hmm. And he maybe even want to undermine and to do it within those 2 weeks. So I don't think that the leaks, that particular leak of these two documents has the potential to change Israeli plans. If anything, I would see the opposite.
So it's been over 3 weeks since that attack, nearly 200 missiles, ballistic missiles fired by Iran towards Israel. Israel has not retaliated yet. What is Israel waiting for?
Well, I believe there has been a pressure and effort to coordinate in some way between the United States and Israel. So I think this was part of that. The result is stationing of one major air defense U.S. battery, and I understand that the second one may be about to arrive as well. Israel needs that kind of thing, so this was part of the negotiations. There was a number of Jewish holidays in between. The country was on some sort of traditional months of holidays. So I think this was part of the delay, and obviously operationally, I believe that it needed to have some kind of rehearsing, some kind of preparations, and that's exactly what those documents indicate.
Dr. Goen, if Israel were waiting for the thwart defense systems to be installed or deployed at their strategic points first, just taking further from what you mentioned, there is the Iron Dome, there is David Sling, there is the Arrow defense system. In spite of this, do you feel Israel needs another air defense system to be installed before they attack Iran? Yes, of course, in the last few months, more than the last 1 year, we've seen the air defense systems getting outfoxed especially by drones, which have made their way past these air defense systems, and they have landed in the heart of Israel. But at this point, does Israel really need those thwart defense systems in place for their attack on Iran at this point?
I believe so. Israel has been engaged for over a year in a war. The war involved with a number of fronts, obviously Gaza, the north, the Hezbollah, and then from the Houthis and Iraq, and recently Iran. I believe that Israel has a rate of attrition and a significant shortage. So I think there is a real need for U.S. assistance. Nobody expected that the Israeli inventory will have to be whatever local productions exist, and I'm sure that it has been accelerated. But I believe that the numbers are of use are growing, and Israel needs that kind of support.
Dr. Yes, Dr. Goen, coming back to the leaked documents, regardless of how it happened or why it happened, the whole thing is definitely an embarrassment for the U.S. because as the documents, if they're true, they showed how Washington spies on its allies as much as its enemies. Do you feel Israel would be remembering Henry Kissinger's words at this point? It may be dangerous to be America's enemy, but to be America's friend is fatal.
Well, obviously, everybody assumed that the United States is looking what Israel has been doing, especially when the United States might get involved anyway. So the U.S. very closely monitoring, and it's assumed. I mean, the issue was the leaks. The leaks also reveal Israeli capability that was not fully clear and fully known. I mean, the fact that Israel has quite a significant number of accurate, highly accurate ballistic missiles that could be launched from a great distances. Israel does not need to fly over Iran. Israel does not even need to get very close to Iran. So this was not very well known, widely known, and it was brought into the pictures. I think it's primarily undermined Israeli-American relations and Israeli-American military ties. And I think that's part of, and then probably this was the purpose of whoever leaked those documents.
Dr. Goen, in our last discussion, I remember I had spoken with you about the Abraham Accords, and you did mention, I'll just like to quickly recap it for the viewers, that, we spoke about how the Abraham Accords could still be in place in essence, as Riyadh did help Tel Aviv with intel during Iran's first missile barrage towards Israel back in April. They did share intelligence, and it did help Israel thwart majority of those missiles which were coming towards Israel. Now we have reports of Saudi and Iran military drills, that also in the Red Sea, where the Houthis have been carrying out attacks on ships since November last year. What's going on here? What is Saudi's stance? Are the Abraham Accords, have they completely vanished into the oblivion at this point? How do you see these drills coming about between arch rivals Saudi Arabia and Iran?
It's not completely vanished, and in particular, we're talking about the Gulf states. Saudi Arabia was the big jewel in the effort to try to expand the Abraham Accord. Obviously, Iran in the recent months have made strong efforts to try to make stronger connection with Saudi Arabia to repair those connections. And the result is that kind of exercise. The exercise, I think, is primarily symbolic, but definitely it raised many questions. I don't think anything the Abraham Accord is vanishing, but it's a strain on the possibilities, and it shows that as long as Benjamin Netanyahu continues these two wars and does not open any kind of horizon in terms of future political some kind of arrangement with the Palestinians towards a Palestinian state, towards some kind of working out arrangement with the Palestinians, this big jewel, this reward relationship with Saudi Arabia could be in jeopardy. And that's exactly what we see.
Dr. Goen, thank you so much for joining me on Game Plan. Always a pleasure speaking with you. Of course, Israel's attack on Iran is going to happen any time now. They are going to go ahead. Reports suggest that they are ready. They are prepared for it. And it can happen any time. One will need to wait and watch. Last time when I spoke with you, you did mention that one can't rule out completely the attacks on any kind of nuclear or energy facility. And it is concerning. Whether they attack those facilities or not, either way it is concerning. We'll need to wait and watch what happens in the West Asian region next. Thank you so much. That was Dr. Avner Cohen, Professor of Non-Proliferation and Terrorism Studies, Middlebury Institute, joining me on Game Plan.
My pleasure.